I've been struggling. Over the last year, it's been a constant struggle to find ideas and know where to start. But I guess I'm doing something right because I'm having more fun planning and creating videos than ever before. And I have found some things that have really stood up to the test. So in this video, I'm gonna take you along with me throughout the complete process of planning a video. All the way from finding ideas to brainstorming, scripting, and finally, how I bring those ideas to life with storyboarding. Let's get into it. This week is a writing week, so we have until the weekend to find a video idea, write the script, and storyboard. And the very best way to start the week to me is ideation. When I feel like I don't have any ideas, instead of beating myself up and obsessing over it, sit down and just start writing. The point here is not to be perfect or write anything beautiful, just to get the ideas out of you. The beginning is always the hardest part, so sit back and enjoy the resistance. It's impressive, really, the amount of copies I can make just to avoid actually starting. When I'm finally done brain dumping, only then do I sift through what's good and what's not. I find that the more I write, the more I naturally gravitate towards the ideas that really interest me. This method helps me avoid getting too hung up on the ideation stage and staying stuck here. Okay, I think I have a rough idea of what the subject of the video is going to be about. This is still a very, very rough idea, but I think I can make it work. Time to move on to the next step, fleshing out the actual content. To be creative, you need to feel the freedom to get your ideas out of your system. And the best way to do that, to me, is brainstorming. In other words, this is the most important part of my process, and one of the most fun. I mean, sticky notes and whiteboards, what's there not to love? But seriously, I try not to overthink it at this stage. Things will evolve as I go, things will change, things will be added, and things will be removed. But in the end, that's how ideas work. That's the whole beauty of brainstorming. I wish I could say I have a very unique way of scripting, but honestly, most of it happens in Apple Notes. It does the job just great for me. It's simple, efficient, and minimalistic. I've tried other tools, but I always come back to this. When I sit down to actually write my script, that's when I hit a new wave of resistance. I wish I could say I've mastered this part of my process by now, but honestly, every time I sit down to write, the same thing happens. The pressure of perfection hits me before I've even typed a single word. There is always this point where I start overthinking everything. I just want to get it right, but I know that's impossible to do on the first try. Having an idea is one thing, but trying to find just the right words to convey your story is another. But I know deep down that the only way to get through this is to start messy. So I force myself to write the ugliest first draft imaginable because I know that it's the only way to get through this wall of resistance. The first draft isn't supposed to be pretty, it's just supposed to exist. It's for figuring out what I'm trying to say and get the brain moving and out of the fear of procrastination. Once I've got my thoughts down, I'll go back and refine them, and only then do I make it pretty. But this is where it gets even trickier. As the day slips away, the pressure to meet deadlines start clashing with the need to create something I am proud of. And that's where frustration creeps in. The fear of not getting it right is always there, but I've learned that the only way to finish it is to push past that first fear, even if it means staying up late or reworking things at the last minute. The important part is to keep moving forward. Now that I roughly know what I'm trying to say, I rearrange everything so that it makes sense and so that it follows the storyline I sketched out earlier. I'm not gonna lie, the first few sentences are always a huge point of friction for me, and it's something I've worked hard to overcome in my creative process. A big turnover has been letting things change along the way, even if it means they shift during editing or filming. So don't be too hard on yourself. There's this quote that says, at some point you stop doing what you love to love what you do. And that's exactly what I've been aiming for. Making something I'm proud of while also enjoying the process, even in uncertain parts. Be patient with this part. It's a delicate process, but it'll be worth it. I've talked about storyboarding on this channel in the past, and happy to say I still storyboard to this day. I mostly use storyboards to map out the visual storytelling. This is where I choose colors, think about composition and movements to get the right visuals for the experience that I'm looking to create. They don't have to be perfect or pretty, just functional. And you guessed it, this is where procrastination hits again. Despite being one of the best parts of pre-processing, it's also the scariest, because everything starts to feel definitive. But as in every new step of the process, it's always the first leap, the first shot that needs the most energy to get started. But sometimes the mental block is stronger and you just need to step away for a little bit. You never know the time or place an idea might come to you, and sometimes it's the most unexpected of experiences that provoke the right idea to pop out. What I'm trying to say is don't take it too hard on yourself. There is and there will always be room for improvement, but you're doing the best you can at a singular moment in time, and that's what matters. Keep getting better, keep experimenting, and you'll see progress in no time. Of course you'll face setbacks. You're going to feel pressure, you're going to be avoiding starting, but it's okay because creating was never meant to be easy. It's an excruciating process to get your ideas out of your mind and into the world. But it's definitely worth the effort because ideas change things. They change us. And if you stop looking so hard for the perfect idea, who knows? You might capture some magic. If you like this video and want to watch another part of my creative process, you'll probably like this one on editing. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.